Most basses have one output, one signal to deal with. The Billy Sheehan Attitude series has two, a bridge pickup and a neck pickup, each one with its own independent output and volume controls. If you've ever wondered what happens when you take those two signals and you route them into a Darkglass Anagram as completely independent paths, one wide for grit and one for a clean low-end foundation, then this video is going to be really interesting to you. But can the Anagram actually run it? Hey, I'm Twisty, and here at Twisty on Bass, we build bass rigs that work, not rigs that look impressive on paper and then fall apart at the venue later. Since getting an Anagram, I've had lots of comments on the channel asking if it works with my Attitude basses. So I thought I'd better do a video on it to answer that question. Today I'm going to take you through the exact preset architecture for connecting a dual output bass, like the Attitude, to the Darkglass Anagram. This architecture will then give you a professional separation between the grit of the bridge pickup and the low foundational bass tone of the neck pickup. This is what I'm calling a dual input parallel preset, and it builds upon the foundational ideas of having a split path or dual path preset, which we've looked at in the Anagram before. Even if you don't own a Billy Sheehan Attitude bass, not sure why you haven't got one because they're fantastic. The principle here is apply anytime you want to run two independent tones through the same box. By the end of this video, you'll understand the routing, the signal chain for each path, and the crossover filtering technique that I use to keep the whole thing from turning into mud. Here's the problem with running a dual pickup instrument without thinking about how you're looking at getting the separation between the two pickups. If you just blend the two signals together, the bridge pickup with an overdrive on, the neck pickup clean, without any frequency management, you end up with a mid-range collision where both signals are competing for the same frequency space. The pickups naturally have different harmonics and are designed to work independently with different tone. When you try to merge them together, you just get a big clash. Like the approach we use with other dual path systems, the grit layer needs to live in its own upper mids and highs space, where the clean layer needs to own its own sub and low mids frequencies. If these two things are fighting over the same territory, then neither of the pickups is going to win. The solution to this is a crossover approach and the ability to tune each signal independently. High pass the grit path to remove the bottom end and low pass the clean path to keep it focused on the foundational bass tone. And critically, we want to do this at the right frequency crossover. Too low on the grit path and you're still feeding the overdrive a bunch of low mid mud. Too high and the driven signal sounds thin and hollow. So that's what this preset is all about. Now the reason that the Attitude basses look like this with the dual outputs and the split pickups comes back to Billy Sheehan doing some modifications on his P bass back in the 70s. The story goes that when Billy began modifying his Fender P bass, now affectionately known as the Wife, he was looking for a way to get overdrive and articulation from the traditional P pickup while maintaining the clean fundamental low end of a Gibson EBO pickup. So his solution was add an EBO pickup to the neck and then run each pickup into a separate amp, one clean and one driven or dirty, both individually EQ'd and individually controlled. Now, this may be like Eddie Van Halen pulling his guitar apart and not being able to work out how to route the two pickups into one output, but it may also have been by design. Happy for Billy to leave comments below if he's watching. Whether by accident or by design, this approach now builds upon a dual path philosophy that's easily configurable within modern amp modelers like the Anagram, the HX Stomp, the Quad Cortex, etc. But the physical requirement of two separate outputs adds a level of complexity that a standard single input split path preset can't deal with. And most videos about this never actually address this complexity properly. Now, before you touch the Anagram software, you need to sort out the hardware. So let's start with the cables. The Yamaha Attitude bass has two outputs, which are 1/4 inch. So a standard guitar lead, one for each pickup. So you'll need two standard guitar leads or Wi-Fi if you're going that way. Unlike the HX Stomp, which has a dedicated A and B input, the Anagram's dual input routing requires a similar approach to what we use on the larger Helix LT, in which the main input or guitar input on the unit comes from the bridge pickup, and then to connect the output of the neck pickup, we use the effects return on the Anagram. To make both of these inputs heard by the unit, inside the preset, we want to start on path A with a split block at the very beginning of the main signal path. So on the Anagram, we go to Utilities and we put a split. Because we've now split that, we also want to then have a merge at the end to blend them all back in together. So at the very end, I'm going to add another one, which is the merge. So now I have a signal path that has two paths. This is very similar to the way we would normally set that up. The trick here now becomes how we configure that so that those paths work independently. In the split block, what we're going to do is we're going to set the level for row 2 or path 2 to infinity or minus infinity. So effectively, we're going to turn that path off. So all the traffic is going to come in and be sent across path A. There is nothing that's going to go down to path B. This stops any of the bridge pickup noise or signal going into the signal path we're going to set up later for the bridge pickup. Now, the trick that most people miss is that they stop here. What we also want to do is we effectively want to put a low cut or a high pass filter in place. And we can do that in this block without having to add another low high pass filter later by using the crossover feature in the block. So I'm going to set the crossover to around 200 Hertz. And then I'm going to set the crossover so that the path 1 is high and the path 2 is low. And I'll leave the level for row 1 as it is. So now what I have is, if I play that through, I'm getting that P pickup, but I'm not getting any signal from the neck pickup. To get that to work, we need to add the return block in on path B. So on path B, I'm going to go to Utilities, and I'm going to add a return. And I set that blend to 100%. So now I should get, if I turn the split P off, I should get and if I roll that other one back in, I should get both pickups coming through. I am also hearing that the neck pickup is slightly louder, so we'll adjust that as we go through so that they balance out more. That's the core setup for making this dual input. I now have an input coming through the input of the guitar, which is coming from one pickup, and I have an input coming from the effects return, which is coming out of the second pickup. And I now have the two paths running independent, and I'm merging them back at the end so that they both come out of the 1/4 inch, the XLRs, the headphones, and everything else that I want them to come out as. The next thing I like to do is build the bass tone, or the path B, the fundamental tone that we're going to go with. I build that first, and then I look at the overdrive or distorted articulated sound second. So if I just roll that P pickup off, this is the signal I'm going to be playing with. Fundamentally, you want to configure this to the normal bass clean tone that you use, the amp that you use, the cabs that you use, etc. If you get stuck, then you can use the Gentle or the model of the Noble DI preamp. I usually add the Peggy. That's my favorite one at the moment. And just as a default sound, this is what I'm getting with no cab and no anything else. Still lots of natural harmonic, nice fat tone that's coming through that. I can then add a cabinet. Add the cabinet that you're most happy with and the mic configuration that you like. Now I'm getting a stock sound of nice, clean, very low end. Because I am wanting this to be fairly low and not compete with the Path A, I am going to load a high cut or low pass filter at the end there. And I'm going to set that to around about 1 kilohertz. Again, you play with these numbers to get the tone that you want. So now I've rolled off all the top end of this. What I personally like to do after that is add a compressor. It doesn't matter which compressor you have. Remember that on this particular path, you're looking to just flatten out or slightly, you're not looking to compress or limit the tone here. It's just a bit of shaping. So I quite like, at the moment, I'm just going to add the luminol. So as my core sound, this is what I'm going to get. So that's tight, low, very clean. If I then start looking at the Path A, I'm going to do something very similar, but I'm going to add an overdrive path to here. Now again, you can choose any overdrive that you want from the Anagram. There's a range to choose from. Pick the one that you're familiar with or your favorite. At the moment, I'm playing around with the Alpha Omicron. I don't like too much drive. So this is going to start to sound very thin because we've got all that bottom end cut out. On the back of that, I then add an EQ. This is a tone control part. So you can add an amp and a cab, or any EQ block you want to get some tone shaping around this. In this example, I'm just going to use the amp EQ. Again, this should be very thin sounding to you at the moment. But we're going to compensate that when we put the other path back into the mix. Because this is its own independent path with its own independent input, and I want to get more articulation out of this, then I am going to add its own compressor. So rather than putting a compressor at the front, then doing all this stuff, I'm putting a compressor. Again, for this example, we'll just use the luminol again. So now my Path A, my overdrive gritty sound is quick one, while we're in mid-architecture, if this kind of signal chain thinking is clicking for you, then hit the subscribe button. This is what the channel is built around, and there's a lot more of it coming. After we've set up the two paths to be how we want them to sound, we need to blend the two together. So in our merge block that we put at the end, you can now play around with, like a mixing engineer does with two inputs at the mixing desk, you've got two inputs coming in that you now need to mix or can mix to the flavor that you like. For my preference, I'm looking for the clean tone to be the dominant and have the overdrive coming over the top and blend with it rather than them being separate and physically in my ears sounding independent. You might be the other way though. You might want more overdrive coming through or distortion coming through. So blend it the other way. Maybe, 40%, and you'll get this more overdriven sound. With that merge block in place, I've now got both signal paths coming together and going out through the left and right XLR, the left and right quarter inch, the headphones and everything else. One trick I did find though, that when you use the tuner mutes the input jack, but I'm still getting the return signal. I'm not sure how to turn that off. If you've got an idea, put that in the comments, but that's the only thing. So if you're trying to silently tune, just turn down the P pickup and then you can tune silently. So here's the thing that makes this architecture work. It's not the drive and it's not the amp model that you're choosing. It's the crossover that you're using and your ability to blend those two signals and control them from a tone perspective independently. When you high pass the grit path to around the 200 Hertz mark and you low pass the clean path at between 800 and 1 kilohertz, something happens that you hear immediately. The two signals stop competing with each other. Path A delivers presence and grind and some articulation from the upper mids upwards, and path B then delivers the weight and the warmth and the low end mids down below. And when they merge, the combined sound is much bigger and clearer than both paths alone. I've been using Attitude basses as my primary gigging and recording guitars for over 15 years. And that dual path sound to me is part of the magic of what Billy Sheehan's being able to achieve, which is beyond just a split path signal chain. It's great to be able to separate your overdrive from your clean, but being able to then more articulate the separation through various tone controls on each path with different tonality from a pickup perspective that adds to that flavor. So using the dual path inputs with the split path capability of the Anagram isn't a modeling trick. It's how professional sound engineers have been doing this with hardware since the 80s at least. Billy Sheehan built an entire rig career around this concept, and the Anagram just lets you do this in a single box with total reproducibility night after night. That is the bass rig mastery system in action. Not more gear, but a clearer system on how you use the gear you have. If you want to take this dual input approach to the next level, then instead of merging the paths together at the end, then have each one send to its own output. Have the bridge pickup go to the left XLR and the neck pickup go to the right, left, right. You know what I mean? This will allow you then the ultimate separation of those. So both you and the engineer, whether it's a recording or front of house engineer, can have complete control over how you blend those to fit with the rest of the band in context. Let me know in the comments below how you've got your rig set up. And if you've tried this approach on any platform, let me know what you heard. Like the video, hit subscribe, and check this video out next. Catch up.